Objective Geology, multiple choice questions with answers. This is the solved question paper of UPSC Civil Services Exam 1994 question paper. And I hope this solved question paper is useful for various competitive exams like CSIR, NET, GATE, GSI and other competitive exams. Welcome to set 2. Coming to the first question, trace fossils would include A. Burrow, skin impression and trail. B. Burrow, boring and trail. C. Burrow, skin impression and boring. D. Skin impression, boring and trail. The correct option goes as B. Burrow, boring and trail. Trace fossils are indirect evidence of ancient life representing behavior rather than the organism itself, including footprints, burrows, trails and fossilized feces or coprolites. So these ichnofossils record the activity of organisms such as walking, feeding or nesting, typically preserved in sedimentary rocks. So trace fossils would include burrow, boring and trail. B is the correct option. Next question. What is not preserved as fossil is conserved after translation to transformation? Which one of the following serves as an example of the above statement? A. Mold. B. Petrified wood. C. Coal. D. Desiccated worm. The correct option goes as B. Petrified wood. Petrified wood serves as an excellent example of the statement. The process of petrification perfectly illustrates how organic structures often last to decay. That means these are preserved by being translated or replaced into mineral form, transforming them into stone while maintaining cellular level details. Next question. Which one of the following groups of organisms is found to be highly useful in the correlation of fossiliferous rocks? The options are A. Planktons, B. Sessile benthos, C. Vagrant benthos and D. Land living organisms. The correct option goes as B. Sessile benthos. Sessile benthos means organisms attached to the seafloor are highly useful in the correlation of fossiliferous rocks, particularly within the paleoecological studies and biostratigraphy. Because they are immobile as adults, they directly reflect the local environment, that is the substrate, depth and currents at the time of the burial, aiding in facies mapping and time equivalent rock correlation. So sessile benthos are groups of organisms that is found to be highly useful in the correlation of fossiliferous rocks. Next question. Shells of early Paleozoic lamellibranchs are hot, generally found preserved except in the form of molds and casts. This is because A. They lacked durable shells. B. Their shells were mostly chitinous. C. Their tests were mostly calcareous. And D. Their shells were aragonitic. The correct option goes as B. Their shells were mostly chitinous. Shells of early Paleozoic lamellibranchs or bivalves are rarely preserved as original material, appearing instead as molds and casts, primarily because their shells were composed of aragonite, a metastable form of calcium carbonate that dissolves easily or recrystallizes during early diagenesis. So shells of early Paleozoic lamellibranchs are hard, generally found preserved in the form of molds and casts because their shells are mostly chitinous. B is the correct option. Next question. Aristotle's lantern is A masticatory apparatus in echinoids. B. An organ for locomotion in echinoids. C. Used by echinoids for generating currents. And D. Used by echinoids as a defense mechanism against predators. The correct option goes as A masticatory apparatus in echinoid. Aristotle's lantern is a specialized complex masticatory or chewing apparatus found in echinoids, primarily sea urchins. This structure, located on the underside of the body, consists of 5 calcareous teeth operated by muscles to scrape food such as algae from rocks and break it down. So Aristotle's lantern is a masticatory apparatus in echinoids. A is the correct option. Next question. Gastropods live in A. Marine shallow water only. B. Freshwater only. C. Fresh and brackish waters. D. Marine, fresh and brackish waters and on land. The correct option goes as a D. Gastropods, that is snails and slugs, they are highly adaptable molluscs that live in nearly every environment on the earth, including marine, freshwater, and terrestrial habitats. They inhabit diverse areas ranging from deep ocean trenches to mountain tops, deserts, and tropical forests. So gastropods live in marine, fresh and brackish waters and on land. D is the correct option. Next question. The shell of a cephalopod which is involute with a sharp venter is known as A. Spirocone, B. Serpenticone, C. Oxycone, D. Phragmocone. The correct option goes as C. Oxycone. The shell of a cephalopod that is involute, that is tightly coiled with a outer oral covering the inner ones with a sharp venter, that means a narrow, acute or keeled ventral side, is known as oxycone. C is the correct option. Next question. Which one of the following assemblages of genera is known to be confined to Nagri formation of the Sivalix? A. Listriodon, Amphision, Tetrabelodon, B. Mastodon, Hipparion, Prostegodon, C. Aceratherium, Tetrabelocian, Telematodon, D. Camelus, Hyobubs, Leptobus. The correct option goes as B. Mastodon, Hipparion, and Prostegodon. The Nagari formation, that is middle Sivalix, is characterized by early proboscideans and specific suites. Among the proboscideans, Stygolophodon, that is a precursor to Stegodon, it is well presented, and Coriolophodon, it is considered as a common, relatively confined taxon, and specific suites such as Lophoceras nagrilli are also restricted to this formation. Next question. Not only the largest dinosaurs but also the largest known land animals found in the Jurassic and the Cretaceous rocks are called A. Sauropods, B. Erinthopods, C. Plesiosaurus, D. Tyrannosaurus. The correct option goes as A. Sauropods. The largest known land animals and dinosaurs found in the Jurassic and Cretaceous rocks are called sauropods. These colossal, long-necked, four-legged herbivores, which include famous genera like Argentinosaurus, Patagotian, Diplodocus, and Brachiosaurus, are widely regarded as the largest animals to have ever walked on the land. Next question. The age of the oldest pelagic sediments on the present seafloor is A. Late Jurassic, B. Early Pleistocene, C. Eocambrian, and D. Ordovician. The correct option goes as A. Late Jurassic. The age of the oldest pelagic sediments on the present seafloor is approximately 170 to 200 million years old. That means these are during the middle to late Jurassic, primarily found in the Western Pacific and Central Atlantic basins. Some, however, identify an older 340 million year old remnant of Tethys ocean crust in the Mediterranean Sea. The age of the oldest pelagic sediments on the present seafloor is late Jurassic. A is the correct option. Next question. Isolated deposits of inland seas of Precambrian era are found in western Rajasthan, giving rise to A. Shales, B. Limestones, C. Phosphorites, D. Bauxite. The correct option goes as C. Phosphorites. Significant isolated deposits of Precambrian aged phosphorite are found in Rajasthan, formed within the restricted, shallow or inland marine environments of the Aravalli supergroup. These deposits, particularly around Udaipur and Banswara, are primarily associated with algae-derived stromatolites. So, isolated deposits of inland seas of Precambrian era are found in western Rajasthan, giving rise to phosphorite. C is the correct option. Next question. Yperic seas were likely to have persisted during the sedimentation. A. Vindhyans of Son Valley. B. Tertiaries of Assam. C. Jurassic of Kutch. D. Cretaceous of South India. The correct option goes as C. Jurassic of Kutch. Shallow Yperic or epicontinental seas were highly likely to have persisted in the Kutch basin during the Jurassic period, which was a period of active rifting. These seas covered large parts of the basin as a part of the southwestern arm of the Tethys, the Indo-East African Gulf, and the environment was characterized by shallow marine, high nutrient conditions that produced a rich fossil record in the Pacham and Chari formations, which were laid down during these marine transgression. So, Yperic seas were likely to have persisted during the sedimentation of Jurassic of Kutch. C is the correct option. Next question. Which of the following formations belong to Miocene and are correlated with each other? 1. Kadaluru, Varkali and Rajmandu sandstone. 2. Murray, Pegu and Manchar. 3. Lailang, Kuling and Irrawaddy. 4. Sivalik, Irrawaddy and Manchar. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. A. 1, 2 and 3. B. 2, 3 and 4. C. 1 and 4. D. 4 alone. The correct option goes as C. 1 and 4. The Kadaluru, Varkali and Rajmandu sandstones are stratigraphic units on India's east and west coast, generally correlated to the Miocene period. Primarily composed of ferruginous, arcosic sandstone with clay or gravel beds, they reflect terrestrial, fluvial to deltaic sedimentation on the eastern continental margin, with Kadaluru formation in Tamil Nadu and Rajamandri sandstone in Andhra Pradesh, representing similar neogene coastal depositional environments. The Sivalik, that is Himalayan foothills, Irrawaddy, Myanmar, and Manchar, that is Sindh Beluchistan formations, are Miocene fluvio-deltaic sedimentary systems, largely representing equivalent molasse deposits from the Himalayan orogeny. So, the correct answer using the codes are C, that is 1 and 4. Next question. The commonly accepted view with regard to the age of the Thal formation of lower Himalayas is A. Permian, B. Late Devonian, C. Early Cambrian, D. Jurassic to Cretaceous. The correct option goes as a C. Early Cambrian. While historically viewed as Mesozoic or Jurassic to Cretaceous, the currently accepted age for the Thal formation in the lesser Himalayas is largely Vendian to early Cambrian. Although some upper Thal sections may contain younger elements, definitive fossil studies have shifted the consensus from the earlier Mesozoic interpretation to an early Paleozoic age. So the commonly accepted view with regard to the age of the Thal formation of lower Himalayas is early Cambrian. C is the correct option. Next question. Dharwar supergroup in Karnataka includes rocks showing pillow structure. What does it indicate? A. Rocks were igneous in origin. B. Submarine origin of the volcanic lava flows. C. Rocks were sedimentary in origin. And D. None of the above. The correct option goes as B. Submarine origin of the volcanic lava flows. The presence of pillow structures in the rocks of the Dharwar supergroup, specifically in the Chitradurga and Sargur groups of Karnataka, indicates subaqueous or underwater environment of volcanic eruption. Next is tips to prepare for competitive exam. Basing on the request of a number of students or candidates, so I have prepared tips to prepare for the competitive exam. So number first is go through the entire syllabus. So for suppose if you are preparing for CSR exam or ONGC or UPSC exam, first the primary requisite is everybody do, that is very important, this is go through the entire syllabus. In this you should have a glance at each chapter or a paper or unit. So what constitutes that chapter? So that means what are the important things in that one? So you should have a complete glance, because remembering the words in that each and every chapter, it plays a very crucial role and it covers the entire syllabus. And you have to make the priorities. That means the priority chapters according to the marks. Suppose if you have specified chapters like if you do mineralogy, academic geology, petrology, they constitute more marks and you have to make or read the priority chapters. Another important thing or the next step is you have to make a schedule, or how you have to plan the schedule. So for this you should have either suppose if you have a long-term goal, that means if you are writing an exam within a year or more than that and you have ample time, so the schedule it may vary like that. So you should have a long-term goal, and if you are preparing for exam within a 3 months, that is you should have a short term goal. That means if you are going to finish the syllabus within the 3 months or more than that, then you have to plan the schedule accordingly. Suppose if you are going to write an exam within a month, so these are the very short term goals. Suppose if you are you have to prepare for the weekly plan or day-to-day plan. So because days constitutes the weeks, very important. every day reading is very essential, and every day repeating the syllabus or the thing what you have covered is very important. So for this important thing which plays a very focused on reading is important, that is hourly reading. So what is this hourly reading? Because most of the people think that they have huge syllabus, they can't complete within that time. But if you have plan, it is possible. So hourly reading means you have to divide each hour into 4 time chunks. This is I'm giving an example. You can make accordingly. Suppose if you are making an hour into 4 time chunks or 3 time chunks or 2 time chunks is as per your ease. So like that you have to divide each hour. So 4 15-minute chunks, it comes to an hour. Okay. And meanwhile, you can take a break like 5 or 2 minutes like that, and you can finish. Suppose within a 15 minutes time, you can reach like 4 chapters or 4 units or anything, whichever easy. So like that, you have to divide each hour into 4 time chunks. And another important thing is the revise the syllabus. The syllabus revision is very important. This syllabus, how much you have to read and then revise. So for this, suppose if you are writing the exam within an year, then you can have the number of revisions like 2 or 3. So suppose if you are writing the exam within 3 months, then you can have a 1 or 2 revisions. So like that. So but this is very important. Repeat. So most of the people, students, what they do is they read more and they forget more as well. So the thing is, whatever you read daily, so you have to revise that accordingly. So suppose if you have reading this much of syllabus at the day, the next morning you have to revise, or you have to take a book and take a notes, and then you have to write what the topics, difficult points, you have to memorize that one. So this will help in remembering the things. So there is no shortcut, but here only the thing is very important thing is you have to revise the syllabus and you have to repeat that process. And another important step is practice previous year's question papers. So this is very important. How many question papers you have solved, and you can make a time unit, and then you can measure your time, or like that you can practice, or you can learn and then practice. So how many years of question papers, suppose 20 or 30, you can solve that. There are number of books are there, so that you can plan accordingly. And you have to practice the previous year question paper. For each exam, now books are available. Suppose if it's a CSR or ONGC or GATE exam or GSI. So like that, you have to prepare the previous year question papers. What is the pattern and how many marks? Is there any negative marking? Is there any assertion reading type, assertion reasoning is there? Like that, you have to read, and then you have to make out the points accordingly, like formula based, or then theoretical points, or any solving problems are there. So like that. And another important step, the next step is measure your goals. So why this plays an important role? Because as the syllabus is huge, people will desperate very easily. That means I have covered this much is left over, this much is have not studied, I'm feeling nervous, like that the feelings may come. But the thing is, if you measure your goals, means how much you have covered exactly, and what are the things which are not covered, so that you can write it on a paper or notebook, so that you can plan for the things which are not covered, or if they are not that much important, you can omit, like that. So this measure your goals, it will give you a confidence, and so that your attitude may change, and you will have that whatever the thing I have prepared very well. So like that type of attitude or behavioral action is very important for any exam. So you should have faith, and then these are the different 4 or 5 steps which are very essential to prepare for any competitive exam. In the next video, I'll make some more tips so that you can secure more marks, and this may be helpful to you. So thank you for your time. And if you have followed the content of the questions, see you in the next video. Hope you can subscribe to Explore Geosciences. Thank you for your time. See you in the next video.